Wow. Welcome back to an episode of the Just Okay podcast. I am Brittany Ledesma and I'm sick. I don't know what I have. I just started coughing yesterday and that's not fun. Have a little eye mask on. Obviously, my hair is doing its thing. Yeah, we're really into doing this these days. When I feel like putting in the energy, I do it. I don't know. Life is fine. I just I love the winter. I mean, in Texas, it's not the winter. Let's be real, but like it was almost 70 degrees today. But like, I love this time of year. I hate getting sick this time of year because that's like it's nonstop. Last week I was sick the week before the week of Thanksgiving, barely a week out, sick again. When will it end? When will it end? And every year they're like, oh, we have so many flu strains. Every year has so many flu strains. I don't know what to say. Every year there's going to be flu. There's going to be COVID. There's going to be a different virus going around. Apparently right now there's a virus that's making people have diarrhea. A little jealous because at least they look skinny from it. I just have a fucking sore throat. Doesn't make me feel skinnier. Not me saying I'd rather have diarrhea, but like kind of. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not fun to deal with either because then your asshole's just chafing. And that's not the fun part. That's not the fun part of diarrhea they talk about. They don't talk about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff going on in the news today. I've decided to stop paying attention as much. Um, I was noticing I'll go on these like doom scrolls where it's just like bad news, bad news, bad news, and I can't stop watching them. It's difficult to turn away. It's like watching like a car wreck. But it's like I just can't keep feeding that stuff into my like daily routine because then I can't change anything. All I can do is vote, sign petitions. Yeah, I sign petitions. Okay. Yeah. And go to a protest. I mean, it's just all sorts of weird in the world. We've talked about that before. I'm not going to cover that this week. I do have to plug something real quick. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the early plug. I am through the end of the year. I am running the Saturday 11 p.m. at Creek, and I am booking very funny comics from Comedy Central, HBO. We got a bunch of local and touring comedians on those lineups, so I'll link it below. I'm not going to be here for the 27th, but we do have a banger lineup that week. It's going to be freaking sick. But I am here for the 13th and the 20th. This will be posted in time for the 20th, though. But yeah, I don't know. Back to my life. Life is fine. Like, it's good and bad. Like, the thing about life is it is good because I'm alive. I'm well. I have an AC. I have a fucking heater. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my plate. I cannot complain in that aspect. However, if I really think about it, I can. And for the most part, though, like, I feel like at some point in life, we all have something traumatic happens that puts things into perspective. Like, I could complain about life, but it is good for the most part until I think about it. If I really, I had someone ask me the other day if I was okay, and I had just had like a really bad day before. And the thing is, if you ask me if I'm okay, I will lose my shit. And I hate that. I hate that part about me because I wish I was strong enough to fake it, but I'm not sometimes. Some of you guys may know, some of you guys probably don't. I don't really talk about it. My dad has cancer. He was in remission and now he is not. And I know that's just a part of growing up and growing old, is seeing your parents get older and go through these life crises. And it's very difficult to handle those, especially as someone who like I love my dad. My dad is my favorite person. It really hits hard seeing him struggle and him because I feel like the dad in the family is the one who's supposed to be strong, but then seeing your dad scared, you're like, oh shit, it's bad. And it's such a like weird thing to see. It's fucking sad, but it's also just like you grow up and I think you idolize your parents. I did a little bit, but like you realize your parents are people and they're just as flawed as you are. And my parents, they're separated, thank God. I mean, I wish they would have divorced when I was a kid, but they didn't. It was literally my parents. I love them both so much. However, they are two people that just do not. It's like water and oil. Like they don't get along. They never have. And they were the types of people to stay together for the kids. And I think that if you are in that situation where you're like, we should stay together for the kids, don't. It's a lot more traumatic growing up with parents that fight all the time and hate each other than parents who healthily walk away from that type of situation. Because I realized in a lot of my early 20s, in high school, you know, like I replicated the dynamic of their relationship with men and women who just weren't that interested in me. You know, like it's something that I was just like, oh, I'm doing. Once I saw that, I was just kind of grossed out. I was like, ugh, I'm doing the same things my parents did. And so that's something that like I felt, you know, okay, let's work on it in therapy. Let's figure this out. I figured it out. And I'm still actively, you know, like I know I'm like ingrained, like that's what literally every time I saw growing up my parents fighting. It's just like they're both so wrong for each other, and for years they tried to make it work. Didn't work, shocker. And I want them both to be happy, but it is just one of those things where it is like you see your parents as people, not your parents. You see them as both, like, because you know, obviously no parents are perfect, but you do like see them more as like, okay, you're a human being, you're just as flawed as I am. And then seeing them get sick, it's really fucking heartbreaking. It's like seeing an old dog die. It sucks. I do feel like having pets growing up to an extent prep you for seeing this happen in real time, but it's heartbreaking. Also, my dad, I mean, he's going to be fine. It's just like a lot right now. You know, like it's not like he is going to be fine. It's not that bad. He hasn't had to have surgery before during this, so that is what freaks me out. But I know he's going to be okay. I know it's in God's hands, and I know that he has the best doctors and a great medical team. I get scared because we're fucking people. But yeah, so that's my dad. That's what's going on, and it's been a lot. And, you know, it's weird because I remember watching, I think majority of daughters have a weird relationship with their mother, and I don't think anyone's relationship with any of their parents are perfect. I mean, I fight with my dad a lot. I fight with my mom a lot. It's just how it goes. I do remember watching my grandmother pass away, and my mom and her always had a little bit of a strained relationship, but seeing how heartbroken she was and how hard it hit her, it really did for me put things into perspective to an extent. You know, like, you can't change your parents. You can't. I know a lot of people. I've struggled with this a lot because my mom, she's got some mental stuff going on, and so does my dad. My dad has anxiety, but my mom's, it's a little different and it's a little harder to deal with. And so, you know, like that's just how it is. You know, it's always been that way, and you can't change them. And so I didn't talk to her for about a year in college. We had a very strange relationship. I moved to New York, and who would have thought moving over 1,000 miles away from home, you start to have a good relationship with family because you never have to see them. Honestly, when I lived in New York, my relationship with my mother was so good. Being 1,000 miles away, it did wonders for us. But like, you know, I love her so much, but I've constantly always wished she could be more of a mother figure. But I don't think she ever had the best mother figure. As much as I love my grandmother, I don't think she was probably the best mother. She was also in an extremely fucking abusive, toxic relationship with her ex-husband, who, like, I see why my mom is the way she is. It is one of those things where, like, I am, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I was trying to pull something out of my ass, I guess. But, no, so, like, I saw how much it affected my mom, and that was really hard. Also losing my grandmother fucking shattered me. That was the first person who I lost that I was very close to. And so, you know, I took some time away from my relationship with my mother in college, and that was very necessary for me. I really needed that. I moved back to Texas. You know, New York, it was great. I moved back to Texas because when I was living in New York, I was having a medical crisis, and my dad got sick, and it was all so much to handle. It was so much to handle. I was stressed because I also worked, like, so many jobs to be able to afford where I lived. I kind of just, like, I had one day where I was at work and I saw this apartment for rent, and I was like, I called my mother. I was like, if you can talk down the price, I will move home. I will move home right now. I don't know what's going on with my dad's health. I don't know what's going on with my health. And all I wanted in that moment was to be with my mom. And I've said this a few times, and you know what? I don't believe this is true. I used to say I love my mom. I do not like my mom. I do like my mom. As I've like thought more into the statement, there's aspects I don't like about her, but I know she would say the same thing about me. I know she feels, I know it's like the same thing with me, because I know as much as I would love to change her, she would love to change me. So it's like, it's a two-way street. I grew up in one of those households where boundaries were demonized growing up. My dad wasn't around a lot. It was my mother, and my mother, she's got a little sprinkle of BPD, which is fine. You know, I have a sibling with that. Like, it's just the way life is. My family, my sister and I, we both have anxiety and depression and OCD, and same with the sibling with BPD. Like, we all got our issues in this household. It's just, I moved home, and then I remembered why. I remembered who my mother was a little bit, because like when you're farther away, it's easier, you know, just like in general, it's easier to romanticize things. And my relationship with my mother, as much as I did want to be with her, I got back and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot. I forgot this is who she is. Took some time apart again. Also, my health issues are all good now. Like, it was very much, I'm 90% positive is because my apartment in New York had black mold. And as soon as I got out of that apartment, I haven't had any issues like I was dealing with. So again, you know, good thing I moved back. But it was a lot. This whole, you know, life is a lot. I think life is always a lot, you know, and if it's not, it's probably because you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. And even if, you know, but it was a lot. Like, I absolutely love my mother. Taking time away really helped me put in perspective. And like, I've been off and on in therapy for like over a decade. I think I first started going to therapy when I was very young. I 4, and then when I was 12, I got back into it pretty much till I was 23. And when I moved to New York, I tried to do therapy again, and I just had such bad therapists. I stopped, but I'm a pretty easy client for therapists because I do listen. I generally take advice. So I use this stuff, the coping mechanisms and whatnot that they have taught me over the years, and taking time away, and it really helps you. Like, I cannot change my mother, but I do love her and I want to have a relationship with her, so I just have to accept her as she is. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people forget that, especially in relationships. People always have well, I can change him or I can change her, and you can't change anyone. People are who they are, and they will show you who they are. You either accept it as it is or, you know, walk away. And so, you know, I don't see my mom all the time, but I do love her and I do talk to her. Probably not as much as I should, but it's just one of those things where it really puts things into perspective when people get sick or pass away. Another big sorry, this is kind of a depressing episode, but like another big moment in my life, which I've talked about a little bit. I had a friend pass away. It was an untimely death, and it was really sad and heartbreaking, and I had so many complex feelings of how do I deal with this, because it was and nothing seemed important after that. I was in a very big depression, and it was just it was a whole big learning experience through that, and it was really depressing, but I am so grateful that I knew him, and I'd known him for like 3-4 years, and it like broke my heart when it happened. I got calls from people, and I was so excited to get to know him more, and that opportunity to know him better was taken away, and it was just so weird. But I just stopped. I think that was the moment I felt like I became a real grown-up, was going to that funeral. It was really heartbreaking, and it puts things into perspective, like, oh, not everything. Like, I don't have to be putting out a podcast once a week. Like, I should focus on my mental health and my well-being, checking with people I love. I stopped creating as much content. I just got really, I spiraled into a big depression that was like years in the making. After that is when I found out my dad had cancer for the first time. That was also a lot. I found out my dad had cancer right after I shit myself. He calls me. And he says, can you sit down? Shit in my Lululemons. I say, I can't, actually. And he told me he had cancer. And then I had to stand on the subway with shit in my Lululemons for 20 minutes till I got to the 23rd Street stop, went home, showered, and cried. Like, I don't. It was probably the funniest way I could have found out he had cancer. Being asked to sit down when you have shit in your pants is very comical, but it is. That wasn't, it was like Nick passed, then that, and then it was just like, what is life, And, I think I have focused more on creating relationships with people and trying to foster good relationships and moments with people. Because there's a quote, very common quote, could not tell you who said it, but people don't remember what you say, they remember how you made them feel. And I may not be the sweetest person on earth if you talk to me in public and you're a man, and that's nothing against men inherently. It's just I have a lot of I have PTSD and trauma from literally bad situations, but I do try my best now to be kind with instead of operating out of fear constantly, I'm trying to operate out of love, which is a weird switch for me because I inherently am on the defensive. I've always been someone who I got bullied a lot growing up. I'm always on the defensive. I've been assaulted. I've had all these things happen, and I'm trying to operate more in less out of fear and more out of love because that's just it's better. And when I heard that quote, it wasn't honestly too long ago. I might have heard that quote 3 months ago. That helped me switch my perspective, especially of how to treat people. Not that I treat people horribly. I don't think I do, but I am someone who, again, is very I'm a little bit of a shelter dog. My dog is a great example, very sweet once they get to know you, but I don't know you before and I get scared. I'm a little skittish, if you will, with some skid marks from the poop in my Lululemons. And I don't know. It really puts things in perspective. I have a boyfriend. Please don't unsubscribe. I have a boyfriend. I've been with him a year and a half, and it's so refreshing to see how his family loves each other. Because my family, I don't think in the past, we don't really talk often. I am close to them individually. We do not gather anymore. We've had a lot of things happen that have caused these rifts. They are very valid, but it is one of those things. I would rather have a personal relationship one-on-one than have the whole environment. We're not healthy, all of us together, but one-on-one we're great, for the most part. But yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I say that was going to Nick's funeral was the first grown-up thing, but life has been kind of, I think for everyone, life feels like it's trauma after trauma. Maybe I'm generalizing. I'm sure some people have a healthy, good right? I have a sibling who attempted suicide the morning after my birthday. My mom said, don't make it about you. I was like, well, this is a shitty way to get out of giving me a gift. Okay. That was also I think I was 19. That was my first eye opening to that and how fuck the world can get. But it's a lot. Life is a lot all the time. And again, it is as long as you are breathing and healthy, it's just as long as you're alive, it's a fucking gift. It's as much as it sucks in a moment. I know I'm someone who I have really bad depression, not to brag, it's medical. It's been diagnosed and I'm on fucking antidepressants. Not to flex, but not to flex. I'm sad as shit. It is one of those things where I'm so easy at being a negative Nancy. I was about to say a negative Sally, but I'm like, that's not even the fucking word. I can be a negative Nancy pretty easily, and it's I'm actively retraining my brain to try and look at things as a good opportunity instead of a bad. So whenever work sucks, I'm always this is an opportunity to practice patience. And I feel crazy, but it is true. These are it's a gift from God when work gets busy. And it is. And it can suck in the moment. But, that conflict was an opportunity for me to practice standing up for myself. Standing up for myself is one of my least favorite things. I fucking hate when someone puts me in the position where I have to stand up for myself, because I will stand up for myself, but my back hurts when I do it. It feels like physical work having to stand up for myself. I hate it, but I'll do it. I just like, I hate it. And so the physical act of doing it is so annoying to me, because I don't feel like I put people in that position where they have to do it to me. So why would I, why are you doing that to me? And now I have to call you out and be like, hey, that's not okay. And that's not fun to do, but I do it. I don't know what the point of me saying that was, but I don't know. Life is a blessing, blah, 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 blah. I mean, and like, I think anyone could complain about anything going on in their life, frankly. Like, we all just, like, anyone could complain about anything, but the fact we are alive, what a fucking gift. With these little curls. I'm excited to see how this looks. Ooh la la. Ooh. Hubba, hubba. I know. I wish it were Coke cans. That'd be really aesthetic. Instead, I look kind of just like a trashy housewife. I look like a housewife that is definitely abusing opioids. Like, I got some Valium. Is Valium an opioid? I don't really know what it does. I just remember hearing about it a lot. This is giving a Quaaludes look. This is my Xanax and dirty martini look. God. I do feel like in another life, I was like a 60s housewife that definitely abused pain medication, right? Like, this just gives that. That is one of those things. I do think I would love to adopt kids. I think that would be fucking sick. Kids needs home. I don't ever want to birth a kid. I also hate when people keep asking me, when are you going to have kids? Bitch, hopefully never. Sorry, I don't want to wreck my pussy for someone that's gonna disappoint me at some time. I'm sorry, like, that's just not worth it for. I also don't. The idea of being someone, the idea of having to go through a major medical crisis, which is giving birth, going through an entire pregnancy is just a big medical, like, it fucking changes your body for the rest of your life. Women lose hair. Their feet and nose grow sometimes. I mean, you fucking tear to your taint. Like, you can be diabetic during it. You can die, literally. I don't ever want to do that. Doesn't interest me. I'm not even that into the idea of having kids. I would love to adopt, frankly, because I do think there are way too many kids out here that, like, me reproducing. Also, I have shitty genetics. Like, the mental illnesses that run in my family are crazy, not to mention cancer. I'd rather adopt and just give some kid a good home than, I think it'd be selfish for me. I would love to have a kid via surrogate, again, if I have the money, but if not, I don't think I want to have a kid. I don't want to be struggling, have a kid and be struggling financially. That sounds like it sucks. Like, that's not worth it. Like, I know a lot of people from my high school, they have kids. They also have like 3 fucking jobs. That's a lot. And I love that they love their life and this is what they want. But it seems like such a fucking drag to me. I'm so tired of being asked when I'm going to have kids. Why don't we ask men that? You have a pussy. When are you going to use it? When are you going to let someone dump in you? Like, when someone asks me, when am I going to have kids? It just feels like, when are you going to let someone dump a load in you? Not an okay question to ask. I don't want to. Also, like, that's just not something I'm interested in doing ever. I've been the same way since I was a kid. It grossed me out when my mother got pregnant with my younger sibling. I bit her stomach because I was like, that shit's nasty. You need to cut that out. Which you can say what you want. You can say what you want. Little mini psychopath in the making, maybe. But, like, it's... to me, no thank you. If that is your purpose in life, I fucking love that for you. I'm never going to tell someone not to do what they want to do with their body. Except heroin. Probably don't. Not the best idea. It's just not for me. I'm so happy for the women that they love that. Good for you. My best friend said she was born to be a mom. Bitch, I was born to leverage a pregnancy to save a relationship. Like, that is some shit. Like, I could see myself when I was drinking to pull that out as a card to keep a man, when I was actively in addiction. Now that I am not, I'm just like, you know what? No. I'm thinking long term, no thank you. But anyways, that's been the podcast. Thank you for watching.